What's going on, everyone? Darkside Phil here with an extremely important video, and I really urge you to pay attention if you at all care about video game footage on the internet, karaoke, music, anything regarding freedom of speech on the internet. Please watch this video. It is in regards to both the Protect IP Act and the Stop Online Piracy Act, which are currently in the House of Representatives and the Senate of the U.S. government right now. We're going to talk a little bit about them, the status of where they are right now, and what you can do to act against them, okay? Anyway, before we get into that, obviously my own agenda here. If you are a fan of mine and you're looking for new footage, there will be no new gaming footage today. Today is Saturday, November 26, 2011. However, I will be attending a a fighting game tournament over at Gaming Etc., which is a gaming center in Stratford, Connecticut, very close by to me. If you would like to see live footage of that event, tune in to www.twitch.tv/don'tblowthis. I'll put a link in the description of this video. There's going to be a live stream today. I'll be doing commentary all day on that stream, roughly starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but just to be safe, if you really want to know when it's going to be starting, follow me on Twitter at TheyCallMeDSP. I'll be tweeting when the stream goes up. And also, all during the stream, I'll be taking tweet questions. So if people have questions for me, you'd like me to address something during the stream, maybe during some downtime, tweet me at TheyCallMeDSP, and I'll be answering questions. Okay, so that's out of the way. I really need to talk about what's going on right now in the U.S. government with a big update. First of all, I want to say an overwhelming thank you to everyone who's watched my previous videos regarding Act S.978 and also the Protect IP Act, both of which were looking to basically censor the internet, put people like me in jail as a felon for putting video game footage on the internet, and just completely going overblown with what they're actually trying to do as a bill or as a, an act. What these bills are really trying to do is stop online piracy, okay? The Motion Picture Association of America has basically employed hundreds of lobbyists to go to the White House, to go to Capitol Hill, and to basically tell our senators and our representatives, listen, we really hate piracy. Piracy is destroying our industry. It's taking away jobs from people in the motion picture industry. So what we need you to do is pass these bills that are going to stop piracy. And that's all well and good. If that's really what this was all about, and if this really were what these bills would do if effectively passed in the form that they're in right now, I don't think anyone would have a problem. And I don't think there's anyone out there who logically would say that piracy is a good thing. I mean, piracy, we all know, it does. It takes money out of the pockets of hardworking people. The problem is these bills that they're trying to currently pass right now in the House and the Senate are insanely general, overreaching, and they're going to give basically unlimited power to the point where it could really be overblown. It could destroy online commerce. It could destroy online culture. Websites like YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, all these websites could be completely changed. Their business models overnight will be forced to change because of these acts. And we're going to talk a little bit about why, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what we can do to stop these bills, okay? So there are two of them. There's one called the Protect IP Act, and there's one called the Stop Online Piracy Act. One is in the House, and one is in the Senate right now. We have two governing bodies in the United States. For those of you who aren't, domestic fans of mine, there are two governing bodies that make laws in the United States outside of the presidency. And so, right now, they are looking at these bills and they're debating them. Now, last week, the House and the Senate started talking about these bills. And again, I want to say thank you to everyone who watched my previous videos about these bills, because, let me tell you, over 1 million people have written either their congressman or their senator, and have said, listen, these bills are wrong, they're too general, they will destroy the internet, do not pass these bills. 1 million, just think about that. How many things in our country can we say 1 million people stood up against? And it's an overwhelming showing of opposition to these bills. However, even with all this opposition, there are still people in the government. That's right, there are still senators and congresspeople saying, well, fuck it. We know better than everyone. We're going to pass it anyway. So there's still people who are staunchly for these bills, and they don't want to hear, they don't want to listen to reason. In fact, when they actually had hearings on these bills about a week ago in the House and Senate, they didn't allow anyone from the opposing side of the argument to speak out. No one from the technology industry, Google, Yahoo, AOL, all these people who we know that these are horrible, these things to be passed in their current form, were not allowed to speak. Instead, it was only the people who were for these bills who were allowed to speak on them. Complete and utter bullshit, and actually, that's a form of censorship. So we're already, before we've passed bills to censor the internet, they're censoring the voices of the people who are opposed to these bills. So here's where it was left off, just so everyone knows. Right now, there was a week of debate on these bills, and then there was a week of adjournment, because this past week in the United States was Thanksgiving week. It's a national holiday, and so our government takes a week off, basically, to go on vacation and celebrate the holiday. They will be re-adjourning on Monday to start talking about the Stop Online Piracy Act and the Protect IP Act yet again. And it's really scary because people are deathly afraid these are going to pass in their current form. And if they do, that's it. Like, we're not exaggerating. And there are people who are saying, oh, this is overblown. You shouldn't react like this. These bills will not affect things like YouTube. That's not the intention. In fact, there's actually a quote, I believe, from one of the people, or one of the senators who was like the head of one of these bills, like was really the person who had drafted it and pushed it through, and said, listen, we're not trying to target YouTube, so don't worry about it. Okay, let me tell you something. That's not how U.S. law works, and the fact that that person said that proves that that person isn't even fit to have their own office, okay? The way U.S. law works is there's a law that establishes a precedent, and then everything after that goes according to that precedent unless another law overturns it. So regardless of if this law is meant to target a website like YouTube and it's really not meant to censor a website like YouTube, there's nothing to prevent, let's say, some company who gets pissed off, some corporation, and they see a video on YouTube with a clip of something from one of their commercials and a person speaking out against it and saying this company's bad. There's nothing to stop that company from basically telling YouTube, that's it. You're legally liable to police all the footage on your website, and if you don't take this footage down, we're going to charge you with a felony, okay? It's preposterous. YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, these kind of websites are based off of user-created content, and there's no reasonable way that these websites could screen every single video or picture or anything that could possibly be copyrighted content that gets uploaded to them on a daily basis and get them up and live to the public in a reasonable manner. So by making these websites liable for everything that's uploaded to them, which is what these bills are actually aiming to do, you're actually completely changing their business models. You're actually fucking with freedom of speech, because let's take a look at a website like YouTube where videos are uploaded in places of political unrest. So look, here's what really happened at the protest today. The police beat the fuck out of everyone, and this is a way for people to have freedom of speech on the internet. The government says, we don't care. We just want to censor everything. So we're going to make these websites liable to make sure that nothing is copyrighted content immediately before it goes live. And if it goes live, these websites can be shut down, can be blacklisted in a search engine or on the internet altogether, where if you try to type it in and find a website, you can't even get to it. And we're going to make them legally liable so that it's a felony every time that one of these videos appears on their website. It's preposterous, okay? We all know that these websites are self-policing. They have automated things in place. Already, there was a Digital Millennium Copyright Act in the 1990s that's in place to protect things, and for the most part, people agree that that act is doing a decent job of stopping online piracy. There are places that can't be touched, let's be honest. There are websites and things that are pirate websites, and that's really what I think the aim of these acts that are in our governing body right now are aiming and targeting to shut down. The problem is it won't shut them down. That's the problem. These things, they always find another way to come back and reform themselves on the internet. What it's really going to do, it's going to affect things like YouTube and Twitter that they're not actually trying to affect. So, here's what's happening, okay? Re-adjourning on Monday, our government, to talk about these acts. There's a couple things going on which I think are pretty cool. First of all, Senator Wyden, who is from Oregon, or Oregon, however you say it. I apologize, I don't live in Oregon. Or Oregon. Some people say it's Oregon, so it's Oregon, whatever. He is completely against these bills. He knows that they are so ridiculously worded, so overgeneralized. He has threatened that he will filibuster our government, okay? What is a filibuster? A filibuster is when someone, a lawmaker, knows that something that's being rushed through or pushed through for approval is wrong. And they're afraid that if it gets passed, that it will basically destroy something or be detrimental to the country. So they take it upon themselves to stand up in front of the entire governing body there and give a long-winded speech to basically just delay the hell out of the government, okay? So let's say, for example, on Monday, if it looks like this is about to be passed, he will stand up and say, fuck this. You know what? You want to try to screw with the internet? Now I'm going to screw with you because you are all so involved with your own self-interest. You don't care about the internet or the commerce that's been created by the internet, and you don't know what you're doing. I'm going to stand up and filibuster you. What's happened now, Demand Progress, which is the non-profit organization who I've been talking to a couple times and really I've been following on these issues, is basically gathering a listing of names for Senator Wyden. And all he's going to do for his filibuster, he's going to say, listen, this bill is absolutely wrong. It's overgeneral in its current form. Everyone in this governing body knows it, but you're only passing it for your own selfish fucking interests. So what I'm going to proceed to do is read the name of every single person on the internet who submitted their name to me who says they're opposed to this bill. And he's just going to stand there and read names all day. Okay? And he could do that all week. He could do that for a month. He could do it, you know, until finally someone listens to fucking reason and says, all right, let's actually have a real discussion about the pros and cons of these bills instead of trying to push them through and censor the people who know that these are going to destroy existing business and existing commerce on the internet. So thank God for people like Senator Wyden, seriously. Someone who is just, he has a no-nonsense attitude and he's not going to put up with the bullshit. He's like, no, I know this bill's wrong. I'm not going to sit idly by and let it pass. Fuck these people. I'm going to filibuster. So, if you're interested in that, if you want to possibly get your name read or you want to learn more, I've put a link in the description of this video. I believe it's stopcensorship.org is the link. And you'll see a video from Senator Wyden, and you'll have the ability to submit your name and your message saying, I oppose these bills. These definitely cannot pass in their current form. And he will have your name on that list, and he'll be able to read it during the filibuster, if it gets to that point. The other cool thing that's going on, another non-for-profit organization called Fight for the Future, they're trying to organize another way for people to contact their congressman or their senator. Previously, we've all written emails. I mean, I think everyone who's heard about this issue at this point has now sent an email to their lawmaker saying, listen, we don't agree with this, and that's why we've had over 1 million emails go out to our lawmakers. It is quite disturbing that our lawmakers say, oh, fuck this, and they're just going to ignore them and do whatever they want for their own selfish interests. So what Fight for the Future is doing is they are organizing a massive call-in next week. Now what that means is they're going to give you the means to call your senator, your congressman or congresswoman, and tell their actual office, whether or not they pick up, because you know 90% of the time you're not going to get them on the phone, but to tell them, I oppose this bill. It's absolutely ridiculous that you're trying to push this bill through in its current form. If you are, I don't know, because, again, not every single congressman or senator is up for these bills. There are actually a lot of them who are against it, but they're really, you know, they don't know if they're going to have enough support to shut these bills down. And a massive call-in, just imagine flooding the phones of every senator, every congressperson, starting on Monday. All they hear about all day is how these bills are wrong and these need to be shut down. It's political activism at its best. It's a way for us to stop these bills before they start, and we need to do it. We need to organize and do it. So I've also put a link on how you can go to the website for Fight for the Future, find out information on how you can participate in this massive call-in drive that we're doing this week coming up, and I urge everyone to take action, okay? So, all I can say is this. I'm not against our government in any way. I'm not. And as you know, I don't do videos like this all the time. I only do it when I really feel there's a real threat to, first of all, my livelihood, because let's face it, I'm a full-time YouTuber. All I do is make videos for YouTube, and if all of a sudden a bill gets passed that's going to censor YouTube, my livelihood could be destroyed. Regardless of now if it even makes me, say for example, if it might make me legally liable for putting a video game playthrough on the internet and make me a felon, which of course is absolutely preposterous, but regardless of if that even happens or not, Just the censorship of YouTube. Imagine if every time I upload a video to YouTube, it takes 3 days for it to go live because an actual person has to view that video and approve it. Just imagine how different YouTube would be if you can't control the content you're trying to put up there. Imagine if YouTube got blacklisted and no one could go to the website worldwide. And by the way, that's what I mean. I'm not talking about just US. If you are an international person, right now you don't live in the United States, you live somewhere outside of the United States, you are still going to be affected because these websites will effectively still have to change the way that they operate, and people like me may be legally liable for things that we're putting on the internet, and YouTube will be forced to take down our content if it's found to be copyrighted content, even though technically it is not. It's protected under fair use as a transformative work. But again, this is what I mean. These bills are so broad and overgeneralized that it's not going to be clear what's copyrighted, what's not copyrighted, who's protected, who's not protected. And all it's going to take is one zealot, one person who takes it upon themselves to put a crusade against YouTube and the internet, and they will just fucking start attacking everything and destroying this whole new culture, this whole new business and commerce that's been created by this kind of social media on the internet. And it's not right, it's ridiculous. So please, I urge you, if you can, speak out. Contact your congressman, contact your senator, spread the word about this issue. Spread this video. Tell people, listen, you have to watch this video. It's extremely important. Please, don't sit idly by. Don't be one of those people that says, we'll just let it go. It will never pass. I see so many comments on my previous videos, oh, this bill just can't pass in its current form. Don't worry about it. No, you have no idea how our government works. Our government will pass whatever they want unless people oppose them. You must speak up, okay? Please. Contact Senator Wyden. Tell him, read my name. Participate in this phone-in coming up this week. Continue to send emails to your senators, to your congresspeople, and say, do not pass this bill. Again, spread the word. We have to make such a fucking noise about this. It's already in the mainstream media now. If you've watched over the past week, you will see news stories in the mainstream media, although you might notice that they're not exactly as prominent as they should be. And that's probably because the media is part of this whole Motion Picture Association, TV. They're part of it. So they're trying to act like this isn't a big issue, when in reality, if you go on the internet, the second you go on the internet, it's the #1 thing and the #1 story you're going to find on the internet because it's such a big deal. So please, please, take it seriously. Speak out. I'm going to do it. Thousands of my fans have done it. Millions of people in the country have done it. It's time to participate. It's time to shut down these bills so we can have a free and open internet without censorship, without blacklisting, without bullshit. Let's tell our government they can't fuck with what we've created and with what we love. Okay? And that's the bottom line. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking this seriously. Again, please spread information about this video. It's the only video I'm even putting up on my channel today. I'm going to be at a tournament, but I'm sacrificing today and not putting any other videos up on my channel just so this video can be seen. Please, I'm serious about this. Spread the word, and hopefully we'll be able to stop these bills in their tracks. And I will update you. As the week progresses, if there's any more news, I will definitely inform everyone on what happens. So, thanks a lot. I'm Darkside Phil. Thank you for listening. I'll see you for, hopefully today, if you're interested in fighting games, at the tournament. Again, twitch.tv/don'tblowthis. And follow me at TheyCallMeDSP on Twitter for information on that tournament and to submit questions during the tournament. And that's it. Thanks a lot.